Hey, Amelia here. Let's check out what's making news. Authorities want us to change the way we greet each other and communicate. Apparently, handshakes are out, but backpats are in. Thanks. Oh, and they say regular hand washing is really important too. That's because for the first time, the disease COVID-19 has spread from person to person in Australia.
This might seem dramatic, but shaking someone else's hand is a really easy way to spread germs. And while it doesn't necessarily mean you'll get sick, authorities say right now it's worth being a bit more careful about how we interact with each other. That's because some people in Australia have now caught COVID-19 for the first time. Until recently, all the cases here were from people who came into contact with the virus overseas. So it's spreading in ways we don't have as much control over, and that's why we're being asked to take some precautions.
If you have been anywhere in a public space, you should certainly be washing your hands before you really do anything, certainly not touching your face.
And swapping handshakes for backpats is also encouraged. Australia isn't the only country ditching the handshake. Check out this German official refusing a handshake at a meeting. Maybe he should have offered this greeting from China. Way cooler than a backpat or a handshake. But overall, here's the thing. There are still only 34 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Australia. And while some of these things are likely to help, unless you've travelled to an affected country in the past 14 days or been in close contact with an infected person, you probably don't need to worry.
There's some bad news for Aussie beaches. A new study's found we're going to lose about 40% of them over the next 80 years as sea levels rise. That means more than 12,000 kilometres worth of our sandy beaches could be lost. But researchers say if we do more to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, it could make a big difference. There have been some ultimate cricket highs and record-breaking basketball lows. Check it all out in sport.
The mission was simple: win or we're out of the T20 World Cup. Commence operation, do your best to not lose that cricket to New Zealand. Beth Mooney got us off to a perfect start, smashing a quick-fire 60 runs.
That's one of her favourite shots.
A quick final flurry from Elise Perry, and New Zealand had a target of 156. Commence phase 2. Don't let New Zealand get 156 runs. Jess Jonassen got off to a cracker, taking the wicket of Rachel Priest, but things looked bad when superstar Elise Perry took a tumble. She injured her hamstring and had to leave the field. In the end, Megan Shute and Georgia Wareham managed to steer the Aussies to victory with 3 wickets each, moving us straight into the semi-finals. Operation complete. Now, finals time is when you bring your best, right? Well, that wasn't quite the case for the Sydney Kings last night. They took on Melbourne United in Game 2 of the NBL semi-finals, but things didn't quite go to plan. Midway through the third quarter, the Kings were down by a whopping 58 points, after Melbourne went on a massive 38-0 run.
He's hit it!
They ended up falling by 45 points, which was the biggest loss in 10-minute quarter NBL history. Luckily, they have a shot at redemption in Game 3 of the series on Thursday.
From bad guy impersonators to unbeatable records, it's time to face the music with these next stories. If you're going up against BTS in the American music charts, it's probably time to face the music and realise they're hard to beat. The Korean boy band's been smashing records all over the place, and now their new single, On, has debuted as the best-selling song in the US. The band now holds 7 of the top 10 spots on the ranking of best-selling individual tracks in the country. That's just showing off now. Some YouTubers are being forced to face the music after pulling pranks like this.
Billie, do you want to come out?
This influencer dressed someone up as artist Billie Eilish to trick his friends and some strangers. But he's been labelled a bad guy now by a lot of her fans because the real Billie recently told people to quit impersonating her because she says it's mean and not safe. Finally today, we're going to meet the world's laziest pigeons. Passengers on a flight in India were startled to find 2 hitchhikers in the overhead compartments. The pigeons made a huge fuss about the whole thing, but were safely shooed off the flight. Passengers didn't seem to mind too much, but it did mean their flight was delayed for 30 minutes, while the pigeons' travel plans were clearly ruined. Well, that's all the news for now, but before you go, make sure you hit the subscribe button down there if you haven't already. You can also check out our channel for other awesome videos and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. We hope you did. Thanks for watching.